Hello, human sexuality, and welcome to Module 9. This week we're going to be talking about sexual health, sexual satisfaction, and sexual problems. So I thought to get us started, I might take us, well, mostly me because you guys are too young for this, but I wanted to take you to an ad that, well, kind of changed how we think about sexual functioning. So bear with me, I'm going to do something highly technological now. Are you ready for this? Here it goes. Dun, dun, dun. Look at the people dancing. We were sitting watching TV, and I remember thinking, why is this guy dancing? Why is that woman's hose limp? What does it all mean? Now, you probably know the answer to this, and you probably figured it out before we did, because it took quite a while for them to tell us what it was really about. Of course, this is an ad for Viagra. And we are the champions. Oh, they're dancing, they're singing, they're loving each other. I remember when I first saw it, I thought, I'll believe it when the women start dancing. And there you go, the women are dancing. So they're celebrating Viagra, this great new treatment for sexual erectile dysfunction. It will change the way you think about bedroom problems. And it did, really. It did change how we thought about bedroom problems. I say bedroom problems because up until Viagra commercials started, sexual dysfunction or problems in the bedroom were things you did not talk about, or if you did, you whispered, because nobody was supposed to know. It was kind of a sign of shame if things weren't going perfectly in the back in your sexual life. And we talked a little bit about this when we talked about communication about sexuality. You know, there's always this inherent assumption that when boy meets girl, or girl meets girl, or boy meets girl meets whatever, you know, is your thing, that when we engage sexually, you're supposed to know just where to touch the person, what they need, and it's a raw, sort of lusty, innate thing that we all know how to do. And maybe, you know, for some people that sex is like that. For most people it's not, especially the first time, as some of you may be able to testify to. Don't worry, if you're saying yes, no one else can hear you. So why then, if sex is so important and there's so much we can enjoy from it, why don't we talk to each other? We talked about that. This idea that we should know. And because of this idea that people should instinctually be able to be fully sexually functioning human beings in any relationship they're in without having to talk about it, it's kept us silent for a long time, and it's created a lot of problems that maybe wouldn't be there if we were only talking about it. Now, that's not to say that every sexual difficulty can be fixed by talking about it, but some of them can, at least. And I always show this, the Viagra to my in-class class, so I figured I should show it to you guys too, because it really did get people talking. And, you know, that's something that big pharmaceutical companies did for sexual health, is they got people talking about sexual disorders like erectile dysfunction. Of course, this pharmaceutical companies, they will tell you that they create drugs to make your life better, but really they create drugs so that you will buy them and make them richer. And sometimes the other side of that is, if they can convince you that there's something broken and that they have the cure, they will sell you the pill to fix it. So for instance, how does Viagra or medications like Viagra, what does it do? Well, specifically, it's used to treat erectile dysfunction in males. They have been thinking about marketing it for females, and they've come close to putting something out there, but ultimately, when they do the study, it doesn't seem to work for females. You might wonder why that is. What does Viagra do? Well, it enhances blood flow. In fact, they actually used it for people with heart problems or clogged arteries to to facilitate blood flow to the rest of the body, and they found, oh, it also makes me become erect. And so it was a side effect, and that's when they decided to market it for the side effect. And how does increased blood flow help with sexual interaction? You guys should know this by now, right? It increases vasocongestion, or blood flow to the genitals during arousal. Anyway, it seems to help men because they get an erect penis, but it doesn't seem to help women. And the possibility for this, or the possible explanation for this might be, is that while Viagra treats a certain symptom, men not being able to get or maintain an erection, by increasing blood flow, it makes it more likely that you'll get an erection and be able to maintain it. So that's treating the perceived symptom, but it really doesn't treat the cause. Like, is there a reason that men were having erectile dysfunctions in the first place? Was it because they weren't aroused? Was it because they're stressed, overworked? Was there a physiological problem? You know, any number of explanations could come into play there. And pills like Viagra, they don't treat those possible causes. They just, well, they cause blood to flow to your genitals. That's all they do. And we'll learn this, that when we're talking about sexual satisfaction and sexual dissatisfaction, that we're talking about a range of difficulties. We could be talking about everything from needing to change or expand your sexual techniques in order to facilitate orgasm, to real physical difficulties or physiological difficulties. Maybe real is the wrong word to use there, but physiological difficulties, like actual physical problems, for instance, like treating abnormal fissure or abnormal fibrous tissue or calcium deposits in the penis, right? So when we're talking about sexual health, sexual satisfaction, and those things which cause us not to be as healthy or satisfied as we could be, the causes can range quite a bit, and yet the symptoms might seem the same. Also, it depends on how you feel about whatever the perceived problem is. So for instance, if, you know, I was saying to my sex therapist that, you know, my partner and I, we used to have sex every day, and now we only have it once or twice a month, and, you know, that could either be a really big problem for us, or, you know, now there's no chafing, it's not a problem anymore. It's actually, I get a lot more work done, right? It depends on how you look at it, basically. So one thing to keep in mind as you're going through this module is that what constitutes a problem or even a disorder for one person might not necessarily be a problem for the other person. And if the one person with the problem about the problem is in a relationship with a person who doesn't have a problem with the problem, then it comes down to communication and perhaps relationship problems as opposed to sexual dysfunctioning problems. It can be complex, is all I'm trying to say. So keep all of this in mind and know that the best reason to see someone about your sexual functioning is if you're not satisfied. And it could be psychological, it could be physiological, it could be a combination thereof, it could have to do with your relationship. But sexual satisfaction is something we should all strive to enjoy. So have happy sex lives and enjoy this module. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.